FM 99.3 KNSI, time for Taking You Home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate. You can hear the show every Thursday morning at 7:23, Saturday morning as well at 7:50 here on KNSI. Start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Heidi Voigt, good morning.
Good morning.
We have been talking about buying homes. I think it is such a great thing for people to make sure that's got to be the goal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, when my mom bought her first home, it was an amazing thing. $8,000, but it was still an amazing thing.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, it's where you build everything else that you experience in your life from. You know, and I think about that. You know, we've got families that are hockey families, and that's where they hang their hockey sticks. And we've got families with new babies, and that's where they're bringing those babies home and putting them on their new carpet. It might even be the holidays that you spend with people, and or even more recently, we're talking to people about where they house their awesome car, right? Like their passions are all integrated into where they live.
So when you're showing people houses, I mean, do they talk about this stuff back and forth? Oh my God, this is going to be the great Christmas house and blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah, measuring, like,
so first thing I think
how big of a tree can I do? How many cars can I get in this garage?
Where the kids going to play?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a thing, yeah.
It really, really is. It's the life thing that I think is so cool, which is why you must just have a great time, because you make people's dreams come true.
Absolutely. And it's interesting, I had a conversation with a gal that I've known for a long time, and there's kind of a perception that when you've been in the market for a certain period of time that you work with a certain category of people.
Yeah.
And the assumption is that you go up in price. And I just had to tell her, I said, I can work with your son. I work with first-time home buyers all the time.
Yeah.
It is what I enjoy. It allows me to build lifelong relationships with people. And so, when we're looking at like dream home, I get through a lot of houses. I mean, I've seen a bazillion split levels, and sometimes you're like, God, they did a good job. Sometimes you see they could do But the win or the excitement, and this is for a lot of agents, isn't when you get into a super nice house or a super expensive house. The win is when you find the right house for the people that you're working with. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic.
You hand over the keys, maybe a little tear goes on, right?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are very emotional about it. I think the tears more come when people are leaving a house that they built memories. But there's always a lot of anxiousness with it too, because it's such a big commitment.
Okay, so this market is really starting to pop, right?
Yeah.
It's starting to come out of that. I don't want to say winter doldrums, because we haven't really had that, but people do kind of pull back a little bit in the wintertime. So what do you do then?
What do I do?
Yeah, as far as buyers and sellers and stuff.
Well, the interesting thing this past fall, working with a lot of people that were seeking land, which was kind of a unique thing, where they're looking for land for later, hunting land, development land. But really, in that downtime, we do make efforts to physically reconnect with a lot of our client base and say thank you. And then we also spend a lot of time preparing for the spring market, meeting with people, saying this is going to be what we're looking at for pricing, getting people of the mindset, okay, let's get your carpets cleaned, let's get your walls painted. Yeah. So it's a lot of consultation and conversations and coffee for sure.
Okay, so what about price not being the only obstacle, if you will, or the only reason people are going to buy, because they're looking for things?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that we'll see right now is that there's some neutrality to the market. We've been in so many circumstances where it's a seller's market, it's a buyer's market, and the raising of interest rates made it a little bit neutral. Inventory-wise, it will tell you on paper that we are still in a seller's market, but the neutrality comes in the sense that there's an expectation that things will be in a certain condition, or people want to do inspections. That the buyer has they have some power now in the transaction where that really didn't exist before. So some of the things that we see that are negotiated are different than just price. It could be things like, we want to leave all of the basement furniture there because we don't have a place to go, or we've already moved, and can we leave everything that is there? Yeah. Or, from a buyer's perspective, they may look at stuff and say, we see these things, rather than have you fix these things that we found during our negotiation or our inspection, we'll negotiate just a price adjustment because we're going to experience the benefit of the improvement once we do it. So just different things that are probably pretty normal, but haven't been spoken of in a couple of years.
The kids tugging on Dad's shirt sleeve. Dad, will they leave the swing set?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And actually, that's a contracted thing at this point, where it's become part of our contract. Where that used to be a big negotiation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's things like, if you don't want to move your trampoline, we're good.
Kids will love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Or things like, we'll close on your house, but we're going to give you 30 days to find something.
Right.
Just some of those more unique things where this is a right match for us, but we also have time. So getting a little bit more creative and making some of those matches work for people is an important part of our job.
Okay, we always talk real estate, yes, but there are some other things that you do at VoigtJohnson that I think are very important.
Yes.
You take care of veterans, for example.
For sure, we have our program, the Homes for Heroes, and in that program actually, veterans are qualified, but it's also firefighters, law enforcement officers,
Right.
teachers, and saving money is always a great thing. I mean, it's a top of mind thing for almost everybody.
Right.
When we're in a market where people were making hand over fist money on their homes, and people actually had a lot of money available, it's not as of a conscientious thing, but when things tighten up, it becomes that much more relative. And that's where our program, on average, people save about $2,200. We have rebated over $2 million in the last 10 years. And that is something that when you buy a house, it comes in the form of a check after closing. And if you list a house, it comes in the form of a reduction in commission. So it is real savings, and it's a lot of different categories. Probably one of the things I like about it the best, so for example, teachers, which is coming off Catholic Schools Week. I know a lot of teachers that both the husband and wife are teachers, which means that they're on a fixed income, not the highest income in the brackets of where people make their money, and they're in a committed profession that serves our community. And if we can help people get to where they want to go through that program, and it gives them a little boost, is a big deal.
All about community.
Yep, it is.
All right.
Yeah.
How do we work with you at VoigtJohnson Real
Just
Estate?
give us a call at 320-774-2400, and our website is VoigtJohnson.com. Lots of agents on there that are ready to work for you.
You have been listening to Taking You Home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate. You can hear it every Thursday morning at 7:23, Saturday again at 7:50 on KNSI. Start that home search with VoigtJohnson.com. Heidi, thank you.
Thank you.